day I saw you. Hey! I'm gonna get started. I'm so grateful for those of you that's your first time here. First time, raise your hand. All right. Let's go. This is my passion. I've built attacks for the last 5 years. I have been consistent every single month for 5 years, even in the pandemic. Okay, and I believer in connections, and I'm a true believer also in helping people. And I always tell this: it's not what I can get from, but how can I serve you? Always coming from a place of service, always, because that is the way I've been able to build epic talk, get into rooms that people can't get into. And I want to talk about this right now because like something happened today that it literally burst to my eyes. I'll share this with you. And the only reason why this happened in my life today was because I'm always come to a place of service. How can I support you? How can I help? Who can I connect you with? So with that being said, I just wanted to share something that means the world. And I'm one of the speakers for the tours now. Thank you. And when it comes to being able to be in rooms like this, and you know, Gary V and Alex and like all these amazing speakers, Addie Wilson, I put so much work into building this community, and I just share it with you, and that's my gift to you tonight. If you scan that code, you get a free ticket to the event March 12th. Scan that code, free ticket to March 12th event. And if you want to share that with other people, please do so. I know a lot of you have big hair. Share it. And the code is Melitza, so you can get your free ticket. Let's go. Let's continue building connections. I'm not gonna lie, I cried when I saw that, and it's not. I'm coming from a vulnerable place right now because we all go through those moments where we ourselves, or we're not believing in ourselves. We are going through pain, we're going through heartbreak, or we're going through situation where feel that nobody is there for us. But all I can tell you is that God is always there for us. And and for me, I'm just grateful for all of you being here. So that being said, I just want to share more about community. We gather to single month. We have workshops. We have these monthly events. We have dinners. And for those of you interested in really joining a community that's here to support each other, that's what we're here for. So I'm going to go ahead and call a couple of my inner circle members to come on stage. And they did not know this, but I went ahead and called Brett Koff. Give it up for Brett. Glenn, I want to call you up too so you can talk about what you're building. Come up on stage. Just joined our inner circle race for Glenn. Also, I want to bring in who's one of the sponsors for the event to talk about the gym that he just opened. So I just want you to share what you do and how people can find you.
Hello, everyone. Good to see so many faces. My name is Brett. I have an email marketing agency where we get your email spam, so you can make more money from your email. If you want to find me, Instagram is that's BRETT Kaufman KUFMAN 2026. I just want to say when I moved down to my about almost 5 years ago, I immediately started coming to these events. I've been in this mastermind and for 3 years, and just everything that you've done, the connections. Every time I need something, she's there. So this is the best community in Miami, and I'm so grateful for everything that you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is kind of random that Brett was the one that told me about this community last year that we're up here together. Thank you so much for that. I literally joined 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I think. I came to events last year, and I'm like, man, this is a very, very cool community. I only spent half a year here, so I'm like, okay. So I was to leave, and then when I came back, and I reached out to Brett, I really want to join the Epic Talks, and I joined the Inner Circle, which is the I think we're talking about, right? Which is that's what you guys. I would encourage you to. I haven't even been yet, and I joined because I think the people that I've even very small sample is just unbelievably unbelievable caliber of entrepreneurs. Been in the online world for many years, 17 years. And personal development company, but what I'm really passionate masterminding, which is what brings me to something. This is my thing that I love to do. Started a very high end on marketing on a mastermind called Flight Club 11 years ago. And then we get together 3 times a year, very committed. And then, but what Maritza was saying, what I'm about to here in Miami is I have another business I'm building right now, and it's called Speakeasy Mart, and it's very different. Other group, it's local meetups. So similar to this in the way that it's a local every month, but very different in the way big party. It's not kind of socializing. You know what I mean? It's very to this. It's a very all intimate, not fancy. In someone's house, in someone's space, something like that. But it's marketing centric entrepreneurs. A lot of online people. So if you fit that kind of mold, we're going to be launching this on next month. Find out more if you're interested at all. Just come and see me. Basically, the group we've got 14 cities around the globe. So we're expanding every month. We live event once a year, connected via an app. But yeah, it's particularly for online, a lot of online people in it, but being biz dev, entrepreneurs, what's kind of a fit for it. But thank you so much for giving that time. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm the kind of person, that I'm going to, I know somebody. And it's because of businesses like this. Right? New York City, Dubai, London, you just freaking name it. Las Vegas, LA. So make sure you connect with him because he's already in 14 cities and he's staying over with his groups, networking groups.
Hello, everybody. I'm Manning. Melissa, thank you for giving me the mic. Of course, I got to go after that guy, but I'll do my best. I want to just lead with what it's not what you can get, it's what you can give. And if you lead with giving, how can I serve people? How can I add value to us? Then things start to happen in your life. Live in a world where it's like, what can I get out of it? What are you going to pay me? What is this? What is that? And at the end of the day, give it away. Every single one of you probably has something to offer somebody. Give it away, and then eventually it'll come back to you. I came down to Miami in 2001. As a stunt double in Bad Boys 2, and take it. And I had a strengthening background. I played football, so I started a strengthening business, training professional athletes and select when celebrity actually meant something. And then blew that up and launched traveling with client world. And then I came back to Miami in 2008 and opened my first gym called Legacy, little 2,000 square foot, holding no AC in the middle of the hood, Wynwood. Look where Wynwood is, and kind of saw a vision of what Wynwood would be before else. And now I have 7 locations with 2 more in the pipeline in Nashville. And we 2 years ago in the official premier of the Miami Heat. So out of my gym business, I launched a beverage brand, still in sparkling in a can. And so doing things, but how I met her, she was on my podcast, and there was just so much synergy because of what she was doing, exactly what she's here. And at the end of the day, we are to add value to the world, trying to stand out and give to other people. No days off is never taking a day off on you. Commitment to becoming your best self. And that's take up every single day and strive for, so that I can be the best version of me, so I can be the best version for the around me. So that's something we're trying to launch, something that goes beyond Jim Wall, some kind of product, but something that you can attach to your life and be a part of a movement. So thank you for allowing me to have the mic for a little bit, and I'm encouraged we're about to listen to today.
Thank you. There's one more I want to call up here really quick. Where's Ronnie? Ronnie G. Mr. Definitely Miami. Ronnie, you're like my brother. Can I say the story really quick?
Please.
So friends with Dana, right?
Humble brag.
And when I first moved to Miami like 10 years ago, I saw him and I really thought he was like Dana. And I was like about to say him. And I was like, oh my God, you remind me of my friend Dana. And that's how we literally connected. And we've done so many other. And I just want you to share a little bit about the impact of Epics and what you're building and everything, because I've never met somebody with so much enthusiasm and someone who's always happy. I love you.
Love you. So I get about 12 times a day stop me and say, dude, you look just like. I'll finish it and say, Dana. I'm waiting for the day that Dana's here, and you introduce to him, and he goes, holy crap, you look like me. I can't believe it. But story. So yeah, when I met Melissa, I was on this crazy journey of trying to get fit. I got off the journey a little bit. Maybe I got to go and where's Manny? I got to get out of anatomy and get to legacy. Yeah, let's go, Manny. Days off. When you commit to something and you do it with no day, amazing the results that you see. And that's something that I met on this journey of what am I doing with my life? I was a bank. I was wearing a suit and tie every day. And I started doing camera work. I got onto TV, and then I developed my own TV show, and now TV network, and now much as a real estate show. On to Amazon Prime and Tubi, which is Fox, and just the other day we got onto Apple TV. So my mission is, buddy, the world has changed. Our phones are incredible cameras that capture everything. All content creators now is to kind of leverage what I've done and help people grow that and get out onto TV if they get out onto a bigger screen or onto any stream. It doesn't take a lot. All it takes is no days off, filming every single day, having a mission, and having the creative. We'll have creative minds. So anybody that just look me up to find at Ronnie GTV on Instagram. Super simple.
Ronnie, yes. Anyways, I don't know anybody more connected to him. I mean, I'm sure Manning is, but Ronnie just knows everybody loves him too. So, this is how I started Epic Talks, guys. This is the first I ever got on a stage. Had 15 people in that room, and I started in personal development 10 years ago when I literally hit rock bottom, and I was in one of those places in my life that I didn't know what to do or where to go next. And I saw an ad on Facebook that said, "Your life, your finance, future, free ticket." And I had just gone through a divorce. I lost my husband of 10 years because he cheated on himself. And to me was one of the most painful experiences of my life, because I don't know what betrayal is, how to betray someone. It's not in me. And my life changed because I got into personal development, because I got into emotional intelligence. And I was in medical sales at the time, and I was like, how can I pay this forward? How can I share this with people? I remember walking over the bridge in Brick, and I was going to events, and I was leaving unfulfilled. I said to myself, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go where all the other motivators are in LA, Tim Stoll's house and all these other big speakers. And that's where I wanted. But as I'm walking through the bridge, I said, it doesn't exist, create it. So as an entrepreneur, what are we supposed to do? I'm a true believer that God doesn't give you a vision that you can't. So if something is planted in your mind, right, it's because God is trusting you to move forward and make it happen. When you make things happen, you're changing people's lives. And I don't know about it. I'm here for a legacy. I'm here to people believe in themselves. I'm here to, be a beacon of hope, a beacon of trust, whatever. Maybe what do you want to accomplish? I'm here to support you with that. And that's where my vision. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. That board there on the table, I got it at the dollar store. And like 15 people there. And I remember thinking about my vision and making my first event, and it was only 3 days. Just love speed, right? It was only, and I had a couple flyers out. I contacted a girl of mine, Alicia Belchenko, law professor in the University of Miami, and it said, Alicia, if I throw speak with me, because I've never spoken before, I'm so scared. And in that sure I was. Because I never done. And she's like, sure, I'll that with you. She thought I was BSing her. I went on Canva. I took a picture of her, picture of me, and I put in ghetto ass flyer, and I printed out 100 flyers, and I went all over Brickell, and this is when Brickell, what it is now, and in a ballroom, which you see there, and I waited. And 50 people showed up to my first event. 8 of those were my friends. It's important to have friends that believe in you, right? And that's my story. And I haven't given up on this vision, and I never will, because I'm here to create an impact. And I've seen people raise millions of dollars because of this event. I've seen people find their partner. I've seen people find their love of God. A couple people that have gotten, and you're only a connection away. So I want to talk about the power of adoption, foster child. And I was given up into the foster care system. My parents were heroin addicts. And I'm standing here with a voice to give people hope, right? Because it's all about being adopt community, where you're being heard, where you're being understood, and where you're being loved. And that's what I'm about. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you have gone through. You can always step to the best version of yourself, and you don't get to become a victim of circumstances. You become a victor of your circumstances. And a lot of people want to sit in this whole idea of like, this happened to me. No, things happen to you. They don't happen to you for you. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing the community and learning and building workshops. And we have other, that we're part of, and, collective. Actually, Jonathan, can I bring you up here? Let me give it up for Jonathan from the collective. Yes, because Jonathan is really changing people's lives, and I was fortunate enough to meet him on an event, and now he has the #1 AI platform in the country with education. Give it up for Jonathan.
We were just hanging out in Texas. You know what's interesting? I realized last night, there were a few women that I was hanging out with yesterday. Sarah being one of them. She brought all these amazing together, by the way, and realized something that I didn't even. So one of the events that I came to, first and foremost, when I came to my first Epic Talks, I was a speaker. I'd heard about it. Jason told me about it. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I came on to the judges for a pitch competition. The gentleman that actually won the competition, winning, he raised $1.2 million because of that event. And that's where I became really good friends with Melissa, and one of my best friends, which is actually. But I realized something else. I haven't even told you this, Chili. Because of one of the events that I came to, he sold one of my companies. So this is like a badass testimonial that I read last night, by the way. And I had just lost the deal to a person that took us down this like entire, and Zach ended up acquiring one of our companies because of the Epic Talks. So network that you have can take you so. That's why we do a lot of AVs together, Epic Talks with the collective. You know, we're very eccentric, but we're a business community. And the reason I'm, you know, Epic Talks talk so much, we do things together, is because not only am I a case study, countless people have been these, you know, people from Epic Talks with what, and I'm always so appreciative. Nick is one of my best friends. We're doing stuff with Shopley now, huge deals. Nitty, and if I hadn't met you guys, that would not have happened. So I'm like so grateful just to be able to be here. You know, I've been gone for the last 3 months. So anytime that I'm here, I'm gonna come and because you know I've seen her in so many different modes, and she wants to give to, you know, which to me is like super amazing. So grateful to have her as an amazing friend. And obviously it works out well to attend these amazing events that she puts together. So give her a big round of applause, because she does an amazing job. And here's the thing, guys. Because of Epic Talks, multi-million dollar deals have happened. For clarity. Okay, this is real. Like, it's happening to me. It's happening to people that we know, including one of my own, the guy that pitched on the comp. He was trying to raise, I think it was like $500,000, and then like Nitty and we're all like, dude, why are you raising so little? Boom, he wanted to raise what, $1 million because of Epic Talks. So thank you, Lisa. You're amazing. We appreciate you very much.
Love you. Oh my goodness. So this is my family, and I basically created something I didn't have when I was little. And I just want all feel the love in this room, and know that you're not alone. It's to feel that you're alone doing life, right? And you know, with the Epic Talks community, just said you have found a home, and every single month we have topics: real estate investing, AI with the collective, you name it. Just taxes with Edward Collins and one connection away from a different business and I cannot express this enough. Don't be shy. Go to people. I love talking to people. I literally I go to them and I talk to the bathroom and I try to see if I can help her. People need us. And if you're in this room, it's because you want to make a difference, and you want to get better, and you want to connect, and you want to just make impact in this world. And that's my purpose in life. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring favorite people in the world, Edward Collins, who is crushing it, the tax master, tax attorney. Somebody ever met somebody that hates the government more? Somebody who has always been there for me. Literally, I saw his social media in 1 year from 100,000, 1.4 million organic people. Everybody knows him. You walk with him like walking with the city. So let's give it up for Ed Collins. Edward.
I'm right here. Melissa.
All right.
Click the next slide.
All right.
Keep going.
Oh my God. There we go.
One more.
All right.
Backwards.
Sorry, guys. All right.
Back.
Oh my God. Sorry.
There.
Are you ready? Yeah. My bad.
Hate the IRS. Taxes are erosion of wealth. They are literally the government reaching it and into your wallet, into your bank account, taking a portion of it. I don't want you to pay a penny that you're not required to. So if there's a out there, I've been diving into it for 2.5 decades. So trust me. Collins. I am a I've built and scaled 9 businesses over the course of 2.5 decades, up to and been through 6 years each. My goal for everyone is to elevate financial literacy. I want to teach you how to think about this stuff so that you can start asking the right questions. If I'm able to go out in multiple lives, those multiple lives can go out and impact, and so on and so forth, down the road to improve the world.
Hey guys! Come on! I can't hear you. Is it fun? I'm talking about a subject that's not all that exercise. No, you're talking about taxation. I'm a lawyer. It's supposed to be boring. But we're not going to be boring here today. You see, it's been a while since I just started. Started my very first company back in 1990. I'm old. But your CPA could be costing you tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, every single year. And it's not because the IRS is robbing, although I absolutely think they are. You see, the reality is Americans by far ingenuities. We create more than 1 million news every single year. Did you realize that? But here's the problem. 50% won't make it past year 5. And 2/3 won't exist past 10. You refer to this SBA statistic. Most businesses fail. But why? It's because the vast majority of business owners are out here for Twister while the wealth in chess. Games both involve game board. They are vastly different games. And let me tell you something. If you're playing the wrong game, I guarantee you're never going to win. But if you're playing the right game, the rules, how to win? You see, I've been spending my time over the course of the past, I'd say 3 years or so. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a secret. Building a private membership community of business owners who are investing $50,000 a year from teach them the rules of the game. Now, you may, that's kind of crazy. I'm not charging you $50,000 a year, unless you want to pay. It's totally. But the reality is they do that because I'm a lawyer. I specialize in estate and business law. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. What I do day in and day out, I spend most of my time helping business owners just like you figure out the rules of the game. Figure them out in such a way that you can actually take your business structure and financial and get it truly dialed in. Now, if you're interested in essentially protecting what you're working hard to build and keep more of every single dollar you make, well, let me tell you something. You're in the right place. You're in the right place because I'm going to share with you that I believe can truly change your life. I believe that. But before we get started, we're going to start with a pause. Fair enough? Don't get me wrong. Don't get all nervous, guys. This is not back to school or even university. True false quiz. But the reality is your answers to questions I'm about to share with you, are going to be predictors of whether or not you're going to succeed. Fair? Okay. It's going to be true. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if it's true, hand down if it's false for you. Again, raise your hand true, hand down if it's false. Fair? Awesome. Question number one. You are 100% that you set the right way with regard to your business structure, financial life, so that you have nothing to worry about at all. Lawsuits, creditors, litigants. Hands up. One hand, two hands, three hands. Okay. Question number 2. You are 100% certain that you're paying the absolute minimum that you're required to pay when it comes to taxes. 1, 2 hands, 3 hands, 3 hands. Okay. Guys, you're not 100% certain. Why not? Don't worry, I have this question for you. Again, true or false, raise your hand if it's true, hand down if it's false. You have never gotten to the end of the year, looked over your shoulder, and where did the money go? So if you answer false to any of these questions, let me say you're in the right place, right? Many of us have answered false to that, right? Remember when I started my very first business back in 1998 as an adult? It's after I was actually on the dark side because I actually worked at first. I worked for the United States, and I saw behind the curtain, and I learned that I hate the government. Let me say again, I hate the government, but I love America. I just think the man is mentally corrupt. Who the candidate is, they're not coming to save you or I. I think the IRS legalized mafia. And tax is not theft. It's extortion. Gus has guns. But I spent my time trying to figure out how to outsmart those guys. Because when I started my very first, I didn't start with any real good footing. Now, the real question, why do those businesses fail? We have 50% that don't last 5 years. 2/3 won't survive past 10. Why? Well, it comes to the game. Most of us are never taught those rules. So when you're looking at trying to get to the outcome, why would you want to understand what those rules are? The reality is most of us were never taught financial. Raise your hand if you learned about financial literacy in school. No hands up. And if you don't learn about it in school, just to learn about it at the kitchen table. But the problem is most of our parents weren't fully literate either. That's why we didn't learn. Fault. You ready for some truth? Again, are you ready for some truth? Not your fault, but it is your problem. Not your fault, but it is your problem. Life is what you do. But here's the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you a thing that I think is truly transformative. And I'm going to be fast. I'm going to give you everything I got. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do. And I can tell you this: all outcome requires action. If you're not willing to take what you learn here tonight, to put it into action, shame. I'm here either way, and I am really fine sharing what I have, and you doing nothing. Statistically, most of you won't do with what I'm going to share. It's just the reality of the truth, the situation that we're in. But there's at least one that will do something, and that's who I'm speaking to tonight. I don't know who it is, but one of you will do something with what I'm going to share. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. Let's see. Now, you're going to love this, but is when you're putting your financial life together hard because we don't know what the structure is. Well, I'm going to share with you the tax structure you need financial life dialed in. Show it to you in this way that help you learn how to protect building and keep more of it make. It's the perfect 2-step process. But when you look at what I'm going to share, if I were to share it right from the get-go, it'd be a little confusing. So I'm actually going to show you the basic framework, add to that framework, so that you see what I consider to be the full hierarchy of ownership pretty much over life. Again, this stuff is boring. make it a little bit fun. Fair? Now, why should you even listen? Again, yeah, I'm a lawyer. I specialize in tax, estate and business law. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've built and scaled nine companies that I still pay, scaling each of them up to and through 6, 7, and 8 figures each. Not to mention our real estate portfolio, residential, commercial real estate. But that's not the reason you listen to me. The reason you listen to me is because I've personally helped more than 2,000 businesses across 18 Indian industries get their financial life in. And I've spent the past 30 years doing a country. If you're looking to get this environment done, just know that I'm not bragging. That's not bragging. I'm just sharing it so that you know that I'm trained in the languages of business and money, and I have practical experience putting that training into the real world. So if the game of business, I'm both a player and a coach. I've been helping business owners just like you do it. But I can't do the push-ups for you, right? And we wish we could do that, right? But what we can do is I can watch you doing it, and I can give you some constructive systems. Refine your approach. I can help you with the outcome. You have to take the action. Now, are you guys ready to dive in? Okay. So before we jump in how to win in business, we first understand how to lose, right? It's like what not to do, and just do the opposite, you're a step ahead. So there are a few things that I know to be true about losing in business. I know them because I've done them. I've had a lot of failure in life. If you talk to someone who's claiming to be a success, who has never failed, they are lying to you. I head against proverbial walls that I can count. But when you look at that lead to losing in business, if you operate with no legal structure whatsoever, that's a surefire way to lose. There are more than 33 million in the United States right now. The vast majority of them have no legal structure at all. They're partnerships or sole proprietorships. So if God forbid something bad happens in someone's business, it happens to their entire life. So operating without a legal structure, surefire way to lose in the game of business. Having no mitigation, whether you're talking about your personal life, business assets, risk mitigation is essentially taking risk instead of bearing it yourself and giving it to someone else, like an insurance. Right? You're offset risk. You're mitigating your risk. If you fail to do that, surefire way to lose in the game. Another one is not segregating risk across different business silos. What does that mean? Well, think about your business. Imagine for a moment how it would relate to a bakery, right? A bakery has a variety of different ways to sell its goods, right? It could sell its goods in a shop. It could sell goods online. It could sell its goods to the supermarket and wholesale. Each of those different ways of selling it, different types of risk. People are coming to the bake shop to buy your baked goods, they fall. If people order goods online, they could have some spoilage with regard to your baked goods. They get to them. Buying it in a grocery store, you could not include all of the ingredients on an ingredients list. Someone could have an allergic reaction, types of risk. So most businesses, however, they aggregate all of their business risks into one entity. You don't have to do that. Just you were never taught that you can actually separate your company into a variety of different divisions. Separate your risk. Another way to lose at a game of business, sound and listen to fake guru advice online. How many people have seen my content on social media? My verified videos. There's a lot of junk out on social media. A lot of trap. So much so, if you do engage in certain things, some of the accountable, you're actually going to commit tax evasion, as an example. The difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion, and it's about 20 years in prison. Right? So you make sure that you're listening to advice that's true from true expert, not just someone who understands a soundbite and can relay it back to you. Another lose in the game of business is to essentially this process where you're co-mingling your business finances. Has anyone heard of the phrase piercing the corporate veil? There's some heads nodding. Piercing the corporate veil, when you have an LLC, and a good attorney can convince a judge you shouldn't have the protections the LLC has. And the easiest way, by far, to simply have a situation where you are commingling assets with your personal asset. I say easiest because I know of a case where an individual 10 years before the actual criminal case, the plaintiff's attorney found one transaction on the business that was personal in nature for $47. And the resulting lawsuit was $17 million. Gotta love the law, right? So not doing things way can really land you in hot water, right? And the final thing I would say tonight, there's so many more, is that you leave tax planning, if you do it at all, you leave the end of the year. Tax planning is a proactive thing. If you wait until the year to get it done, the year's passed. You see, so many people that are business owners are relying on their accountant to help them. Nothing wrong with it, right? But there's a big difference between strategy and tax compliance. Like, you have to file your tax returns, right? Whoever's telling you not to do that, they're lying, right? That's fraud. Don't do that. But tax strategies about do next month, next quarter, to ensure that your tax burden is lowered. Guys, I recognize that this is not all super exciting, but it's your money. Are you really interested in giving a tip? Hello, right? Why get a single penny more than they're absolutely received from you? Let's get our financial house in order. Because here's the risk: if you fail to operate the right way, structure the right way, do the things that potentially could benefit you by just following the rules of the game, you're in a situation where bad things happen. How many entrepreneurs in the room are also parents? Couple hands raised. In every state, except Louisiana is a little bit different. In every state in the United States, did you know that as a parent, you're financially responsible for the liabilities incurred by your minor children? There's a situation where a daughter was driving her vehicle. She was 16, going on 17, is past her permit phase. Got into an automobile accident. Her passenger died, and her parents were sued. That case was a $7 million. Now, they didn't win severs because it went to what's called a supplemental proceeding, and it ended up with a few $1 million afterward. But they lost everything. That fact. But the other problem with understanding what this are not understanding what's actually happening with regard to the law, because the law do. Like you may string into a scenario where you believe that the law says one thing, but something's changed, and you're not top of it because you're not dealing with someone who actually knows what's going on. You could also be in a scenario where you are operating under the law, but the interpretation of the law changes. Right? How many people have heard the consumer environment not the consumer, the corporate environment for transparency, where business owners are required to call a beneficial operating ownership, right? People have heard of that, right? Currently, there's an injunction with FinCEN from enforcing this thing. But over the past just two months, it has changed times with regard to whether the law was in effect or not in effect. It's currently not in effect, but that can be any moment. So upon you to really stay on top of what's actually impacting your business and your financial life. But when you look at trying to win, it's again, we now know what not to do, at least a few steps not to do. But what do we do? How do we actually achieve success in business? Well, there's three secrets I want to share with you. Secret number one is I want you to build a fortress in your financial life. If you can build a fortress, protect what you're working hard to build, you can safeguard that from the enemies at the gate. We'll about that in a moment. But the next step I want you to know how to do is to hold on to more of a single dollar you make. They're your dollars. And third, I'm going to keep a secret for now. See whether or not you see the end. Now, when it comes to building a fortress, it's important to understand that no one's going to bore you. You have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to put in things to protect what you're building. And the reality of life is that there are forces that are constantly wanting to get your stuff. What does that mean? Well, back in my high school teacher, his name was Mr. Mann. Mr. Mann taught history in high school. Specifically, he taught about wars throughout, and what was the start of a single war. He always talked about that. And do you guys remember steel case file cabinets? Like the 5-drawer steel cabinets? Not a lot these days because everyone's paperless. Mr. Mann had a five-drawer steel case, and he would use it as his lecture, situated right next to his desk, right? He would use it as his lecture, and he'd put his notes on the steel case. And he would talk at the start of every war, what caused war. He would talk about it with us. And when he was standing at the steel case, say, the start of every war was because of the have-nots. And he would go, the have-nots want what the have. And it would echo through the classroom. That's why it still sticks in my head. But think about how true that is. The start of every war is because someone wants what they don't currently have. That truth is also to business ownership. There are enemies at the gate who want your stuff, who don't want it but really want it. And if you don't, and to protect yourself from those enemies at the gate, the creditors, the litigants, your old Uncle Sam, they're going to be interested in taking your stuff. So, question: how do you actually get that protection? How do you protect yourself? Well, something I call the real wealth matrix. It's the ideal hierarchy of ownership pretty much for everything in your life. I taught this to attorneys across the country from the early to mid 2000s into 2011. And it involves utilizing of structures to get the protections, to protect yourself from these at the gate. Now, it's a framework. I share with you guys the framework. But as all frameworks go, your own personal situation may require modify the framework so that it's a do. Utilizes trusts, utilizes holding companies, and utilizes operating companies. Trust, holding companies, and operating companies. What's at the top? Trust. Trust, interesting thing. When I work, this is what I call a vertical. Trusts themselves are intentionally part of this process because the overall design is intentional, right? On purpose. It's not an accident. Now, it gives us the ability to identify those verticals based on what's going on in your life. If you're a baker, whether you're a mechanic, whether you're an online coach, you can utilize this infrastructure to safeguard what you're building. It look like? Well, trust itself is simply a legal agreement, right? It's illegal. And what it does is it involves two parties that are coming together to agree. It involves someone called a grantor. This party sets up the trust, who creates it in the first place. And what they're doing is they're essentially getting something of value and put into a trust. Right? Take something that they have and they put it into a trust. And what they're going to do is they're going to have a separate part called a trustee be in charge of it. Right? They're going to manage it. They're going to modify it. They're going to monitor it. They're going to deal with that thing of value for a third party called a jury. It is a private legal agreement, which means it doesn't get published on the public. You don't have to take your trust down to the county court. It's my trust, right? It's private. Now, the interesting thing though is there's 70 trusts in the United States right now. We're trying to figure out which one is best for you. That's why you want to sit down with someone who understands on in your life to help you select it. Boil down to two categories though: revocable and irrevocable. That whole nother topic for another day. But the concept that I want you to really resonate with is a private agreement. Private agreement. Now, holding company is something different. See, a trust is something that is legally definable thing, right? If you go into the legal books, whether you're talking about Black's Law Dictionary, whatever it may be, actual definition for it in the law, what a trust is. Holding company, on the other hand, is not such a thing. Holding company is a term of art, right? Because there's nothing in the law that is what it is. So when I use that phrase with my community, I want you to understand, talking about something, a business entity that you've created to own, right? What is it created for? Own things, exactly. So the concept is pretty interesting because what does it own? It can own businesses, it can own financial assets, it can own real assets like real estate, and money from that holding company in a variety of ways. It can flow up and down to different entities. The complexity is interesting because you can actually create a holding company to do a lot of different things. Create a holding company to help you with regard to action. You could create a holding company in order to help you with tax reduction strategies. And we're going to talk a lot more in a moment because I know that's where you guys are here. You want savings? I get it. But that's the sexy part, right? Everyone wants about the sexy stuff, right? But I have to deal with this, right? You have to deal with stuff first. Right? You have to deal with the stuff that's less sexy, but it is new, so you get the sexy outcome. Now, the beautiful thing about this whole system, the segregation that's happening, because there's this third concept called an operating company. And just like the holding, there is nothing in the law that defines operating company as. So a term of art. So when I use it with my community, I'm talking about an entity of some sort that's going to in commerce, buying or selling of goods and or services with the public. That's commerce. Why is this important to know? Commerce is where you can get sued, right? Because you're dealing with the public. Holding company doesn't deal with the public, so get sued. Well, I'm a lawyer, so I know they can't. People can sue a company, but it typically won't survive. So this is where we start to get some interesting stuff happening, because as the company could send money up to the company for management fees. You can defund where you eventually could get sued, right? This is where it gets pretty for a lawyer. Right? Lawyers get, because now I get to protect what I build. I get excited about this because the infrastructure then gives the ability to understand that at the company level, maybe we're engaged for asset protection. Maybe we're engaged for scale. Maybe you're going to say, okay, operating this type of business, physical fitness business, and I'm going to create another operating company that's going to handle my own coaching for physical fitness. And I'm going to have another company that's going to handle all of my property, or maybe another company that's handling all of my technology. Then I'm going to license out to all of the other gyms and online fitness experts. Because all of them things have different types of risk. I'm segregating, aggregating. Now, the hierarchy itself has to apply to getting why we're doing it in the first place. Well, we're trying to protect against liability. And most people understand that there's problems from a liability standpoint when you're operating a business. They get it generally. But there's actually two different types of liability. Right? The first type of liability is what I call inside-out liability. Can you operate a business, a risk event happens in the business, you prevent that harmed party from getting to your personal stuff. Right? You have a slip and fall in your business, or you have it, and you're renting, and they slip and fall there. The harmed party can't get to your personal bank account. Right? And the way to protect that is to sort of create a force field of this. The classic example of how to do that would be setting up like an LLC business structure. Right? Because the vast majority of it don't have any formal legal structure, legal structure. Give opportunity to protect it. But if you engage in asset protection, the vast majority of people stop here. They don't recognize or at least appreciate that there's actually another form of liability. It's called outside in. You guys actually live your business, right? Don't get me wrong, I own 9 companies, so I know it feels like 24/7. The reality is you live outside of your business. And that means you could potentially get into a situation where harm is caused outside of the business. Your LLC doesn't help with that. And you want to prevent that harmed party from being able to take your personal stuff, or stuff for that matter. The way to protect against that is sort of to create like a cloak of invisibility. So the world doesn't even know you own. I call this the bet. Like you're driving a Bentley, you crash into a Toyota Corolla, right? Whether you own the Bentley or not, they saw your drive. You're the target, right? You want to prevent the world from knowing everything about you. That's a great way to get and utilize something called anonymity with regard to your business structure. And you could accomplish that with this type of infrastructure. And while you're doing this, you have to recognize there are different types of assets. You have businesses and real estate potentially. You have financial assets. All exist in what I call spectrums of assets and income. We have personal, passive, non-portfolio. These are all types of assets that you can have. Then the non-passive asset, it could be your W activity, it could be your business they engaged in, like your bakery, right? Your laundromat, your fitness business. Passive side, that could be businesses investing in that you don't materially participate. It could be your rental properties that you're renting out. On the portfolio side, it could be your broker account, be your cryptocurrency wallet. On the personal side, it's a personal home you live in, automobiles, your planes. Each of these things has a different level of risk that also have different types of that are associated with them. So when you're structuring your life, you structure it with the idea of what's happening in that particular spectrum. Again, I recognize how boring this could be. I get excited about it. Think about it. If you had your passive, like W-2 activity or your business activity you're actively engaged in, structure, you can utilize the wealth matrix framework to apply to your situation, right? Trust at the top. You get them a holding company. You can have a situation where set up a family management company. Again, remember hands going up for parents that are owners, paying your business. You hear about it on. People have heard someone say online, pays in your business. I can't tell you the number of times to a scenario where someone heard it ending it the wrong way. There's actually a right way to do it. Setting up a separate family management company could be the right way for you. Now, when you're talking about, imagine your rental portfolio. Again, we may have a situation where we're going to use a trust and a holding company, but let's say we're talking about residential real estate. Well, in that case, I may use a land trust instead, and then have a official owner because I don't want my name on the deed. Right? When you look at my personal scenario, I have 17 trusts. Like, oh, you guys don't need that. But you think about how you can actually apply these strategies in your own life. You can actually do some amazing things. accomplish amazing. On the portfolio side, let's say we're talking about your wallet or your brokerage account. Well, most of you own that in your own name. And if you are in that Bentley affiliation, your liquid, which is your portfolio assets, they're the ones that the attorney wants to go after first. Who's the liquid? You could actually choose to own it in some company, so that the whole would prevent that litigant from taking your portfolio, even if they win the case. This is how you protect your wealth. Your personal asset, just utilize the personal property trust in order to set it away, your house inside of it, so that it's off the public record with regard to you and your name being associated with it on the deed. Now, when we look at this from a step back view, right, at the entire infrastructure, well, we can look at it and we can apply so many different ways of setting up our financial life the right way, so that we get the outcomes we desire. In this portion of the talk, asset protection. But the amazing is now we have infrastructure. We have infrastructure, right? Because there's a hierarchical ownership structure called the real wealth matrix. It is the ideal hierarchy because it protects us from both inside and outside types of liability, and it gives us this ability to go through this process of designing infrastructure. And Edward, why do you keep saying that word infrastructure? The tax code is a recipe book. It's a recipe book. But just like any other recipe, you need stuff. Right? If you want to make a chocolate cake, more than just the ingredients, the flour and the eggs and the cacao, right? You need the pots, the pans, you need the infrastructure. The same thing with the tax code. You see, when we look at trying to get to a level of success in life, because I talk on stages all across. A lot of people know that my companies are in the financial space. So wealth management is one of them. So they're constantly coming up to me and saying, like, Edward, how can I make more money? How can more, right? My response every time is the same. Start off with keeping more of what you're already making. Because if you keep more of what you're already making, you're profitable more so than you. But well, first you have to understand that the holes in your bucket, right? There's operational inefficiencies that happens in every business, right? There's capital misallocation that can occur. The largest hole in everyone's bucket, by far, is tax. All right? Would it surprise you to learn that the average business owner sends more than 50% of their income to taxation? This is usually where I get a little bit of pushback. It always says, Edward, you're wrong. The tax rate is 37%. So what are you talking about 50%? I have this philosophy that I call the 5 erosions of the dollar. You see, when you make money, what do they do with that? They tax it, right? Called it income tax. Now, let's you take the money that they whatever was left, like they already taxed it, right? The after tax dollars or tax dollars, need something. What do they do with that? Yeah, sales tax. Let's say though you go out and something, and actually went up in value with after tax dollars. It went up in value, and you went to sell it. What are they going to do with that? Tax it. Capital gain. Now, let's say you go, but you didn't want to sell it. You just wanted to hold on to it. What do they do with that sometimes? Tax that too. Property tax. And the file on the coffin, you listen to someone like myself, and you actually build something of substance, real. What do they do with that? When you die, they tax that too. It's called the death tax or an inheritance tax. Estate taxation. Your dollar goes through a journey. And not only do you pay the tax, you give that dollar that's after tax to another business owner, they're going to pay tax on it. They spend it, the person that receives it, they're going to spend it. I hate the IRS. Because it's this fictitious environment of stealing your money. money, right? They're constantly in that process of taking what you are to build. But how do we get away? Well, talk about the real wealth matrix. Not only is it a solution for structure and protection, also a solution for tax because it's the infrastructure that I talked about earlier, right? It's the pots, the pans, and the ovens. So you can use the recipe, but the tax code, to keep what you make. But when we look at this infrastructure, we often look at it as a lawyer, as just asset protection. Is that infrastructure gives us the ability to start leveraging tax strategies, right? The classic example of assets and income is stating that those different spectrums, different ways that they're taxed, right? Your non-passive is going to receive ordinary income. Passive gets to get taxed as well, but your portfolio is going to be taxed. Maybe it's taxed as ordinary income, maybe it's taxed as little gains, maybe it's taxed as dividends, right? Super sexy, right? Super. But the reality is once you start understanding how your stuff is taxed, you start trying out how to plan accordingly, how to adjust to keep more of your dollars. One way to do this is by outsmarting the assets is simply to understand that recipe book exists. Right? Start doing the things that get you the result. Because there are two purposes of code. The first one most people understand, right? It's the revenue. Now, I disagree with this a lot because the reality is we spend about $4 to $6 trillion a year to operate federal government. We only collect about $2.5 trillion of tax, which means we borrow the rest, or that comes from printing money. So if we could just print money, why are we getting taxed? Right? But that's what happens, right? We think of the tax code revenue raiser for the government, but the real purpose of the tax code is to be an incentive program. It's designed to get you to do certain things or not do certain things through the law. And they advise us with three amazing carrots: deductions, credits. This beautiful word in the tax code, like a cloak of invisibility around your money. Don't even consider it income. And when you can learn this stuff, you start saying, okay, well, how can I then use the structure I'm working hard to build to keep more of my dollars? Well, there's a strategy, legal structure, that we can actually start to change how we operate our business, keep more of our dollars through leverage something called an S corporation. Right? We're going to talk about this. What is an S corporation? When we get into the indications of infrastructure gives us the ability to do, start taking this strategy and say, okay, how can I just change the type of entity I use to earn my money? S corporation is the special type of election that happens where the IRS, I want to treat my business as sort of like both a business and an employer, right? I want to be both a business owner and an employee. You may say, well, Edward, why would I want to do that? Because employee, you give your employees certain benefits. Even if you're see the S corporation, the easiest way to start to talk about it is to understand how your income is taxed in your office. If we talk about you as, let's assume that you do set up legal structure and you're going to operate as an LLC or even as a partner. Either way, you're being taxed self-employed individual. And the problem with that is horrible F word in taxation. What the FICA? Is an environment where the IRS says, we want you to chip in to pay for others who are currently drawing down because they were lied to and believing that Social Security was an account that they have socked away somewhere. It's not. Social Security's current payees into the system. People who are actually contributing. So your income tax at 15.3% for self-employment tax. It's taxed again for income taxation. A lot of business owners forget about this. But if we were to use a scenario where we assume that you earn net $100,000 of taxable income, that result in $15,300 self-employment tax. Self-employment tax, which would give us just $84,000. That then gets income taxed. A lot of people don't understand that that's how the tax code act pays self-employment tax first, then taxed. The problem with this is that's voluntary. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to do it this way. You can choose to set your business a different way. You could choose set up they call them S corporation election, where you're just telling the IRS want to be treated. Now, regardless of how yours is currently structured, you could set up a separate vertical that operates a different way. You could set it up because the S corporation treats you again like both an employer and an employee. And you would pay yourself something called a reasonable salary as an employee of your business. Reasonable doesn't mean this means reasonable matrix by which we do it, and how we show business owners how to keep more of their dollars. The income that you pay yourself as an employee that would be self-employed tax. But all the other money that you take out is now compensation that you get for being an owner, like an investor. So it's treated unqualified dividend, which means there's no save that money. So if you look at it, if we look at this structure and assume that you choose an S corporation, again, we'll use the same scenario, $1,000 of net taxable income, because it keeps the math simple. But we have now that 50% of that gets paid to an employee, and 50% gets paid just by being the owner of the company. Well, that would be a situation where we should only have to pay $7,650 of that, not $8,300. Making a very, which is one form, 2550 of the IRS code, one piece of work in this scenario would save you $7,650. Else about your business is the same. It's just accounting. I know it's not sexy. But I'm curious, what do you guys do with an extra $7,650 you didn't have to send to the IRS? Would you invest in your business? Invest in marketing? Would you go out to a couple of dinners? Would you rent a yacht for the weekend? Turn it into a marketing event? Take some photos? Instant moments, right? There's so many different things. Dollars. If you can learn to just direct what you're doing and how you're doing it, you actually get to work your own money. Beautiful system. Now, when getting outcome that matter, the operation itself is a starting point. So once you're an S corporation or you use the S corporation in your whole ecosystem, it gives you the ability to start doing some amazing. Where does the S corporation live? You can put it in the holding company. And then instead of being where you're operating, you can start compensating yourself where you're owning. So you get to defund your operating company where you could get sued, pay management fees to your holding company where you can take advantage of tax savings. So not only do you get to guard your money, you get to get more of it. The beautiful scenario. But when you go the S corporation route, it gives you the ability because it's just the ability to start taking advantage of strategies. Because as an employee, the S corporation could save you $5 or more in taxes, but it just opens the door to other strategies, like an accountable plan, as an example, where you can now reimburse yourself because you're in an accountable plan that allows a business to reimburse the employee for any business use of the employee's personal stuff. You get to reimburse yourself in such a way that makes the reimbursement excluded from income. I told you the most sexy word in tax exclusion. Right? It's a cloak of invisibility around the company gets to take a deed for paying it to you, and you can receive it income tax free. Beautiful.
wealth matrix allow you to leverage strategy after strategy after strategy, saving all of your own money. Like it just opens the door. Now, when we're trying to keep your own money, we have to understand that it's yours. So when you're leveraging strategies into those dollars, what do you do with them? What do you do with them? How do you actually? Well, when you learn the rules of the game, you can actually start playing them in. You can actually start playing them in. Because again, addiction is the largest hole that you have. Operational election gives us the ability to have a start, opens the door to so much else. But the title of my presentation is Beyond Deductions. Beyond Deductions. Because if you really want to win in business, you have to have the right measuring stick. Now, I have my biases. If you've seen my content, you know a lot of them. Because I pretty much tell this. I believe that the true measure of success in business isn't about how much. It's not even about how much you keep. The true measure of success in business is what you do to pass it on. That's the true measure. I have two little ones. My son Ryan is 11. Daughter Victoria is 9. She's 19 most of the time. What I do, don't get me wrong, I enjoy a lot of it, all right? Doing it because I want to build legacy. So if you're beyond deductions, there's a very simple concept that bring us back to that can help lead to that. Because if you look at your life, God forbid something happens to you. A lot of people sit and step in to take from your family, they get it. There's something I refer to as the probate highway. A lot of people not know this, but if you think about your whole life, and imagine that you're driving down a road that ends at get a lot of cul-de-sacs in New Jersey. That's where I was born and raised. Many cul-de-sacs in Florida. But in New Jersey, cul-de-sacs are. Imagine if you're driving down a road that ends in a cul-de-sac, but you're pulling a trailer behind you that all of your worldly possessions, your house, your automobiles, your bank accounts, it magically carries everything. If it to the end of the cul-de-sac, a will deal with it. It's what I say. But there are these two before you get to the cul-de-sac. One is called an operational law. The other is a beneficiary designation. But it's important that probate will likely cost anywhere from 3 to 10% of your probate estate. And that depends on which state you die in. In Florida, it's going to be about 5%. So if you had 100 estate, probate estate, your heirs would owe $5,000 to settle your financial affairs. God happens to you. The reason I hate the concept of this is because probate costs are 100% avoidable. That is a purely voluntary fee that you are going to put onto your heirs if you don't plan. Purely. What do I mean by that? Well, probate itself costs your heirs thousands. Right? Like if you had an estate that was $1 million, let's say, you may say that's a pretty big estate. Not really. Right? It's your houses, your accounts, your life insurance proceeds, your business. It adds up. That could cost you $30,000 to $100,000 of completely avoidable fees. Completely avoidable. How do you avoid it? Well, the real wealth matrix is the answer. Because remember, what was at the top of the real wealth matrix? Trust. Trusts are awesome. Trusts are awesome. Trusts are a will substitute. They give the ability to avoid probate. Completely. And it's private, right? Because a trust will own the for you. So when you pass away, sorry to say, hey, will happen. One likes to talk the truth.
The trust doesn't. So there is no the asset. It's private. It's a avoidance tool. It gives you this ability to your nosy neighbor doesn't have the ability to find out what it is you own. A will, public. Right now, if you can go down to the surrogate's office and look at all of the wills that are currently in probate. You can look at all of their assets. In fact, if you're a real estate investor, you should probably, there's a lot of opportunity in those lists. Right? But the concept here is that you want to understand is a public process. A trust is private. It's your business. And this puts you into a path where you can understand that this mechanism gives you the ability to have continuity, right? Because it survives you. If God read something, even if it's not death, you're just unconscious. Well, if you don't have a plan and deal with that, else has to figure out how to get it done, and that figuring out usually involves a court. Now I know it's weird hearing, oh, don't do that, because lawyers make, right? Like lawyers do really when you have to go to court. I'm telling you don't do that. Just get a trust. Put everything in trust inside of the real wealth matrix. Structure financial life so you get the outcomes you desire. It could own your business assets. It could own your real estate assets. It could go through the process of your financial assets. It can own all of your personal assets. Trusts are probate avoidance tools that you have a say over what happens. Who has a say? Me, right? Who has a say? It's your life. You can either plan or not. Either way, tomorrow will. Either way, you have to be the one who's deciding if you're going to take being in control. Are you going to be in control? Your actions in a trust, as long as conscionable, this private agreement can accomplish things. So as an example, I have incentive provision many of my trusts. This is designed because I don't want my kids to fund babies. We are very wealthy. Like, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm an unapologetic capitalist. I've done very well. My kids to leverage that wealth to complacency. Right? So I have provisions in my trusts. So if I get money from my trust, that's beyond healthcare, education of asset. If it's stuff that's really personal, the only way they can access it at first is earn money outside of the trust. And my trust will never income. Now, because my wife has knocked to me, she's created an alternative that my kids don't have to work, but as long as they're part of society and doing good things in society, like volunteering for charitable causes, they can also earn money from the trust for the hours spent dedicated to improving, right? These are incentive provisions. I also have what are called bloodlines in my trust. The divorce rate right now in the United States is 53%. And I want to make sure that my money stays in my family line, not subjecting, so that it doesn't become marital asset. There's also bloodline provisions in the fact that it keeps those dollars protected from a spendthrift situation where one of my children into a financial issue, those dollars are dollars. So a litigant can't. It stays in my bloodline. Stays in my bloodline. Charitable goals are part and parcel to my trust, where my kid will be part of a process where we talk charitable aims, because they will be incented to go out and donate money to certain causes that they get to pick, right? They get to pick. This is what beyond deductions, guys. Going beyond the things that most people will need to do to get outcomes. This is about getting real legacy. That is winning at the game of business. That is beyond deduction. Because a trust will ultimately put the control of everything in your hands. So put it at the top of the matrix. top of the matrix. Talking about wealth transfer planning, we want to understand that trusts are the key, right? Trusts are those probate avoidance tools. They give us the ability to private arrangement, it's not aspect of public record, and it gives us the ability to put you in control, put you in the driver's seat. You look at the entire situation. This now as part of repertoire, you have the groundwork. The question is, what questions are you start asking those you have in your life tomorrow? Write some notes. Get some notes tonight. Set a reminder in your phone. The phone said 9:07 a.m. tomorrow. 9:07 a.m. Do it, because I can make you do the push-up. I can tell you when to push up. Put you on the path. Now there are two paths that you have, right? You actually have two different decisions you can make. Decision one is doing right now, right? You have a scenario where you're just going to focus on options. You're going to go through this process of trying to pay tax like everyone else does. Your accountant is a glorified historian, guys. They spend all the time, effort, and energy trying to figure out how to best tell the IRS what already happened, right? It's yesterday. You may go about thinking that planning that's optional. I haven't built anything of substance yet, Edward. I don't want to trust together. Like, this is not that complicated, because you actually start building something protected. You wait until it's more sizable. The attorneys charge you more. They just are. It's your dollars. Be in control, because you could take number two. You could take Pat. That's it. You're going to start off by structuring your business, even though it's not as start there. You can go a process where you use strategic tax planning instead of reactionary tax preparation. You can go through a process where you actually get to pass your wealth on with intention. Path. The decision's yours. You get to choose which way you want to go. Now, the question is, which one are you going to take? Because one path, the stress and overwhelming, wasted money. Hate it. The other path gives you the ability to be in control, right? Security. It gives you the opportunity, financial freedom. Like these are decisions you need to make. I have a path. If you're interested in staying some of this stuff that we talk about tonight, I have a free newsletter. This sort of stuff out to you guys free. It's up to you if you want to take advantage of it. Melissa's working on building an opportunity, an actual workshop, and work one-on-one with you. But here's the thing, what happens if you get engaging communities that change your life for the better? Part of Melissa's program, which is why I'm even willing to step on a stage like this, because guys, give it up for Melissa. Part of what it does for you guys, set you up to be in the right room with the right people who have the right to start to implement. Do yourself a favor and connect with this amazing woman. She cares about you. She is why I'm here, so that I can serve the one going to do something different. I don't know if it's you. I don't know if it's you. I see you back there. It's kind of bright. I don't know if it's you yet. The person that gets to make the decision is you. So which decision are you going to make? Thank you guys all. For now.
Yes. Give it up, Collins. How many of you got the opportunity to scan the now? Do you need it? Do you want me to really quick? Yeah, right. You don't get access to people like this easily unless you're paying $5,000, $30,000, $40,000. People Collins $100,000 for 1 year for him to prepare their taxes and all that to make sure that they're not screwed and their families not screwed. And he's here be service. Why? Because you're one connection away. And this one connection, I got to meet this old man here at an epic event. And if you guys are interested in joining this community and being part of it, we have my team over here. We have monthly dinners. We have workshops where we teach about everything: taxes, social media, marketing. TikTok is back. Is Liz still here? Liz says she has to. I don't think she's here, but I know TikTok is here to stay. Just saying. But it's a family. Anybody that's interested in wanting to learn more about the inner circle, you guys can go over there. Alex, say hello. Can we for Alex really quick? He's been here all day upping. You want to find out more about our circle, make sure you go to that table over there and also join myself and Edward on workshop that he has coming up. Thank you so much for being here. Does anybody have any questions for Edward? So yeah, Edward's still here. Anybody in the audience, any questions that you have for Edward Collins? Anyone? Nobody? One person over here. Can you stand up really quick? Can you come forward? I can. Sorry, the lights are bright. Can you come closer?
I see something going online called the grantor. It's called the non-grantor irrevocable complex spend trust. Can you shed any light on that? You go, Melissa. Thank you.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Anyone? Do you guys hear me or no? Yes. Just in case. I actually did post on this very recently. The non-grantor, spendthrift, irrevocable trust, right? It's a scam. At least the way it is being promoted, 99.999% of the time, it's a scam. There are utilized trusts, but let me share this. Trusts are not tax avoidance mechanism. Anyone who tells you could save money opening a trust does know the tax law. Trusts are really bad when it comes to taxation. That's why you have to share them in the right way in order to benefit you. Here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys a tip. Go to the IRS.gov website, irs.gov. The top box is a search bar. Write this down. Type in abusive trust tax evasion schemes. And that trust is listed by the IRS as a problem. They are aware of it, going after people who are leveraging it. Now, again, is there a way to leverage it towards beneficial? Yes, but far less of the case. Like 99.9999% of the time, you could end up in hot water. So I would suggest avoiding it with even other people's money. Don't use your own, but definitely.
Thank you. Anybody else have a question for Edward? One more quick question. We're willing here. Yes?
My question is
Microphone.
yeah. There are a lot of talks also about I know that this is another subject that can go very bad way for many people.
Yes. So, life insurance. One of the companies I own is a private management firm. So we actually do sell life for some of our. But we take what's called a fiduciary to it, meaning I don't charge commissions. Right? I don't do that. I sit on the same side with my client from a risk standpoint. I don't charge those that I serve commissions. I'm a fiduciary. Life insurance is an amazing tool, but it is not an investment alternative. It is a risk mitigation tool. So when you buy insurance, you are shifting risk to an insurance company so that you paid, or your family paid, God forbid, something. The problem IUL, which is called Universal Life, how IUL is all sold is that it's sold as an investment, and it's just not. Also, the structure of the policy, most of the insurance don't even know how the fees or types of policies. And look at life insurance. There are two main types. You have permanent insurance and term insurance. Insurance is like renting a house. You're renting insurance for a very limited period of time. Permanent insurance is like owning a house. It builds equity in the cash value. But there's a lot of different permanent insurance. Right? IUL is one, whole life is one, universal life, variable universal. These are all different types of policies. And the IUL is a lot of people and how they are caught, like what the expenses are inside of them. And every year your insurance costs go up. These products are pitched on social as being the end all, so that you be your own bank. Right? How many people have heard that? Bank strategy, right? The problem is if you structure a policy the wrong way, you will actually hurt yourself financially. What's the wrong way? Well, most insurance companies pay higher commissions when there's a bigger gap between the life insurance death benefit and the cash value. So the larger the gap, the better the commission. Lower the gap, meaning the higher the value, the lower the death benefit, the lower commission. So if you're paid by commission, which one are you in sell? The one that pays a higher commission. I mean, I'm a capitalist. I get it. I understand the problem is that's the exact opposite the way you want to design in order to be your own bank. To use Rockefeller method. People have ever heard of the Rockefeller method. I have a video for free on YouTube, literally laying it entirely out. You can go to YouTube channel and just get it for free. Awesome.
All right, so we're done with this. You guys want more wins? Make sure you scan the code. Let's put something on. We got 30 extra minutes of networking. Thank you all for coming to Epic Talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was amazing doing you.
Thank you.
All right.